Hi students. Today we're going to take another part of our unit, which is about advertisement in general. Yesterday we had the conversation part, which was between Amal and Farah. Now the conversation that they had, it was about shopping, but not about the topic itself. We used, or they used, the expressions that are used for advising against something. You are disagreeing, you are disapproving, and you are giving an advice at the same time. So yesterday I asked you to make some kind of conversation based on giving this kind of advice between you and your friends. Now I have here some just short examples just to give you the kind of examples that you can use, as well as the ones that we took yesterday in the book. Now we have the first one. Imagine that your friend wants to go diving with sharks. He or she do not have the experience, and you are going to advise them to be careful. You might say, for example, "Are you sure you want to do that?" So just to give them a chance to rethink the idea of doing something dangerous like that. And we have here someone who eats a lot of junk food. You can just advise them and say, "I'm afraid you're going to regret it if you ate all that junk food. And if something is dangerous or it might hurt someone else, you can also say, I wouldn't do that if I were you." And these days, we have to be very cautious and very careful not to leave without masks. So also, if you see someone who is not wearing a mask, you can say, you should think carefully before you go out without a mask. So these are three. We had four. There is one left. Yes. Now, some people, they like to do dangerous activities. One of them is bungee jumping, for example. And here, you can also give the kind of advice, because people who do dangerous activities, they have to be healthy, they shouldn't have any kind of illnesses, they should be in good shape, they must have the correct training, and so on. So also we can here add and say, I don't think that's a good idea to try something so dangerous without training. So these are just examples for the expressions that we have to give advice. And also we took the part of the real talk. We took the four light, short expressions that we can use as real talk, and they are, as we said before, informal. No, the first one, beat it. Yesterday we said, just I connected with the parents, with the money. This is just an example. Now here we have, it means yes, to leave quickly. And then we have here blow, which has a lot of meanings. But here, because I'm talking about shopping and spending money, I'm going to use the phrase blowing money away, which means to waste money. Also, we have after that broke. So here, broke is not a verb that means break something. No, we have here broke means that I am out of money. And the last one we have here, max out. I told you yesterday that max here is from the word. Can you remember the word? We have the word maximum. Maximum here means that you have reached the limit. It can be with money, it can be with batteries, memories, and anything that has a limit. But also, because we are talking about shopping and money and wasting money or spending money here, I am going to say that to spend to the limit. I maxed my card out. So these are the part for the conversation that we have. We had the expressions for giving advice and also real talk. Now we are going to just leave Farah and Amal. And we are going to go back to this kind of graph. Do you remember it? We started with commercials and we related them to advertisements. And after that, we related them to marketing in general, who or which is done to attract customers or consumers. And after that, we have here the word shopping is, of course, related to the word customer, and so on. Now, we are going to leave the shopping part, and we are going to go back to advertisements. Now, if you remember in the first lesson when we talked about advertisements, and if you can remember that we had different examples for advertisements. So we started with just discussing the topic in general, and there were some examples like these we have here. Now, these are examples for different things that can be advertised, and there is a different idea in each one. So it depends in the advertisement on just showing the product or making the advertisement very attractive. Now, do you remember also in the book they talked about the BMX 3000? We had also the floral shampoo. We have also the laundry detergent and the spring water and also the sneakers. So each one had an idea and had its own way to attract the customer. These are the products and these are the advertisements. Before we advertise, there has to be a way to advertise something. So just imagine that you have something. You want to sell what you have. You have to be very clever to advertise what you have so people can be attracted, or they can just begin telling each other about it and so on until it spreads. So actually at the beginning it depends on how you are just let's say displaying your advertisement. So we can say that advertisements are a very important part. They are attractive. You can see them in a lot of places. But these advertisements, they are different from one to another. Each one has a special way or a special technique. So this is going to be our lesson for today. The question is, how can advertising attract attention? So we said that they are going to attract the attention by using techniques, which we will listen in the listening script. Today our lesson is going to be listening. Our objectives are to give the meanings of words based on text, list advertisement techniques based on description. We are going to list, and then after that you are going to match between the technique and the product. So we have here advertising techniques. This is the basic thing. Now actually in the book you have here the script and you have the table that you are going to fill. We have here, this is just a part that I want you to concentrate on, and you are going to just try to highlight these words. You want to just remember them. So later on when you listen to the script you can recall these techniques, because they are the techniques that you are going to match with the products that you are going to listen to. So the techniques that are going to pass by, we have emotional appeal, bandwagon technique, endorsement, anti-bandwagon technique. So again, these are the techniques that you will listen to in the listening script. And after that, when you listen to these, we have here the endorsement, bandwagon, anti-bandwagon, and we have the emotional appeal. You are going to match between them, and we have here the table, which you are going to just see now. We have here first, and the question is to listen to the lecture about advertising techniques. There's a kind of lecture. Which advertising techniques? The one that you just saw. Then identify the kind of technique each product uses. So in the book, you're going to find this table, page number 73. Open your books on page number 73, and you will find this table. The table here, you have written different products. These are the advertisements. So we have here the products. You are going to just read them, just check them out. And then we have here the technique which you are going to match. So the exercise is just to match between the technique and the products that we have, because each product is displayed and advertised with a different technique. So we're going to see here, just to revise, there's something about jeans, cola, cards, toothpaste, and we have here cameras, which are actually a security system. put in mind the techniques, put in mind these items, and you are going to listen. So let's start. Page number 73.
Good morning and welcome to the class Advertising 101. You are here today because you want to learn the secrets behind how advertisers sell to consumers. As you become more familiar with the techniques advertisers use to sell their products, you will notice that these same approaches pop up again and again, selling everything from toothpaste to tires and life insurance to laundry detergent. Let's take a look at some of these techniques. Endorsements are one of the most popular types of advertising techniques. This technique shows a famous person promoting the product. Because viewers admire and want to be like the person, they may want to use the product. Here is an example. I'm famous for my smile. But I owe that smile to Sparkle Bright toothpaste. Another popular advertising technique is called the Bandwagon Technique. To jump on the bandwagon is an idiom that means to join something simply because it is fashionable. So when advertisements use this technique, they try to make viewers believe that they will be part of the popular crowd if they use the product. Let's listen to an example. More and more people are switching to the refreshment of Dew Top Cola. Don't you want to be one of them? The anti-bandwagon technique takes the opposite approach. It encourages consumers to feel that if they buy a certain product, they will show their individuality and be recognized as someone special. When you're ready to break away from the pack, there's indigo jeans. Think for yourself. Indigo jeans. Emotional appeal is a technique in which the advertiser tries to get the viewer to respond to the commercial with some kind of strong emotion. The advertiser wants the consumer to associate the product with the emotion. Let's listen to two examples of emotional appeal. Even though my mama and I live miles apart, she is always in my heart. That's why I'm sending her a Caremark card. Because when you send Caremark, you send love. Imagine if your home was burglarized in the middle of the night. What would you do? How would you keep your family safe? Luckily, with safe home alarm systems, you never have to worry about the safety of your family and your home.
Okay, now you listen to the script. The 4 techniques that I told you about, they passed by you. And now we are going to just relate between the techniques that I told you about and you listened to in the script. And we have here our table. So the first one, we have here the first kind, which is the Sparkle toothpaste. Which technique was it? From the beginning, which technique was related to the Sparkle toothpaste? You will find that he talked about the endorsement technique. After that, he talked about the Dew Top Cola. And he related the cola with another technique, which is going to be the bandwagon technique. Is it the same as your answer? Then we have the indigo jeans. And also, it is something similar to what we have here, but it is the other kind, which is the, yes, anti-bandwagon technique. And then, if you noticed that the speaker, he related 2 examples together, which are the Caremark cards and safe home systems. So he mentioned them all, and he related both to the emotional appeal. So we have here, they explained also in the script, what is the technique? We have the first one, which is the endorsement. Now, he mentioned something about a famous person who is using a product like toothpaste, for example. He has a nice smile, bright teeth, and so on. And this kind of technique depends on bringing someone who is very famous and let him or let her advertise the product. like the sneakers when they brought the NBA basketball player. The other kind, which is the Drew Top Cola, they use the bandwagon technique, which depends on using something that or advertising for something that is very common. It is like something new, a new trend, something that is just going on between the people. They are inviting the customer to go with the flow, if you can remember this phrase, and do as the others did and buy the product. The opposite from the word anti, bandwagon technique, is the opposite. It's a technique used to make the customer feel that he or she are special. They have something different from the others. And if you can recall, when we took the listen and discussion lesson, we actually saw that the BMX car, the sports car, it was advertised this way, to make you feel special, to make other people admire you. You can just buy this car. So they use the anti-bandwagon technique. After that, we have the last one, which is the emotional appeal. No, both. We have here the card and we have also the security system. It depends on the emotional appeal, which means that they talk to emotions, like the relationship between a son and his mother, and also a parent who wants to protect his family or her family, and they just want to feel this kind of safetyness or the kind of connection between mothers and their children. So that's why they used emotions. They were talking to emotions, or the advertisement was direct to the emotions. That's why they call it emotional appeal. So this is our listening for listening lessons for today. Tomorrow, inshallah, we have our pronunciation. So the pronunciation, you can just go back, you can practice the parts that we took from Unit 1. You can practice your R's, you can practice your ED, you can practice also the clusters that we have here, the consonant clusters, and also the vowels that we took and we linked together in Unit 4. And now we're going to see a new part for your pronunciation in Unit 5. So this is a good time to practice. You have just enough time to go back and try to recall what we took before. So our lesson for today, the listening lesson, we had a kind of lecture, and in this lecture they explained different kinds of techniques, not any kind, advertising techniques. And after that we matched between the techniques that they had and the examples that they gave were about different products. So this is our lesson for today. I hope that you practice more and more, and we'll see you inshallah in the next lesson.